Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Australian report for Wednesday, November the 23rd. Looking at the ASX here on the daily chart, expecting to push up to 7,300, which will be this old high over here. So that will play a part. That line is on the 7.3. We'll probably just pop above that a little bit. We'll talk about that. Let's just go. So first of all, we're looking at this as this whole move here as the A wave, a B wave, and a C wave up here. Now, in this C wave, I'm looking for 5 waves of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here. I can push this higher because I do have a fault here on wave 4 that is overlapping wave 1. But I've seen this happen before on this particular market, so I'm not that fussed about that. But just to let you know that I can take the whole structure much higher, which would be in line with the European markets actually. So I can, anyway, that's another story. But what we're doing is from this low here, we're looking at just tracking 5 waves into that space there. Once those 5 waves are finished, then we're just going to wait and see what we get. Now, we could, I could point out some things for some short-term traders, but if we get an ABC pattern here, which also could be wave 1 down and wave 2 back and wave 3 down, but that particular high there will become important, because if we are going to be bullish, then we'll need to be long on the breach of that there. So we could look at this as an A and a B and a C. We could look at it as wave 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 to the downside, but taking that top out is the trigger to go longer at that point. That would also coincide with the S&P 500 here, looking at this as wave 3, 4, 5 here. I can look at this top here as wave C or wave 1, so bearish or bullish, and we'll need to make decisions over this side. So we're still at this point, we're still on this side of the fence, so we're still working with this structure on this side, and once this impulse wave finishes here, then we'll need to be working with this side. As an ABC here, we can go long on the top of the B wave, coming down here, any move below 3 waves down, and then we can look to be on the short side. We can improve longs and shorts quite easily. We'll need to see how the details unfold, but this is one side of the equation and this is the other side. So this side over here will have a bit of a blind spot for a little while until we can figure out what we got. Sometimes I can get some leads of what's going to happen from individual stocks, leading stocks, because they will help direct the market in that way. But anyway, that's sort of where we are. So we've always known we will go up to this point, and then we'll need to just be a little bit patient while we sort this out here, and then we'll know if we're going to be bullish or we're going to be bearish. Now, you may have an opinion about that, and that's good, but for me, I have to be sure, so I have to wait for the evidence and the facts to fall in place and make decisions the best that I can on those facts. So that's what I will be doing. But there's opportunities everywhere in terms of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the 5th wave here. There'll be 5 waves in this structure. When you can get the 5th of the 5th of the 5th, you could also short at that point, So there's all those sorts of things that you can do. But just generally speaking, we're looking for that top in the market just up here. If we go to the daily 1 hour, I think we can just go straight to. So from that situation, we're looking at this here as wave 3, 4 here, then 1 and 2, nice strong 3rd wave that we've been through, the 4th wave here, and then 1 and 2, and let's just organize this here a little bit better. Now, this wave C up here, I could also make that a wave 3 as well here, because that's something that I'm doing with the European markets, and there is a relationship between the European markets and the Australian markets. Well, the Australia has the same accounting and legal process as the UK, and obviously the FTSE and the DAX and all those are part of the same sort of family to a point, and everything is connected to a point one point or another. So yeah, with the European markets, I can see quite clearly that this could be a wave 3 up here, and we could move up further. And also too, when we look at CBA creating a double top in the market, I know that on the daily chart or weekly chart, whichever you want to look at, I can see that, I know that double tops are not the end of the market, so I'm kind of steering bullish a little bit, but I can't confirm that, so we need to be prepared for both things. So yeah, I mean, the length of these here as such can be wave 1 and wave 5 can be roughly the same. I mean, just take it with a pinch of salt, you know what I mean? Wave 3 is longer here, so that's all good. So yeah, that and we know that way over yonder over here, we've got that old high over there. So yeah, so that's that. So we've got, I suppose I could look at this as being 1 and 2 in here as well, but yeah, I'll just take it from here for the time being. If we get an extra leg, we'll get an extra leg, and I'll sort that out at the top. But we are moving up here quite nicely in, like this is the third of a third here. So got 1 and 2 here, and this is the third wave. So they've got wave the third of the third of the third here, so it's really pushing off, but we've got this third wave pushing here as well. So let's go in and take a closer look at that on the 100 ticks. So there's wave 3 over there, and we've got wave 4 over here. I've had this position. I don't know if folks would have stayed in that position. It's a pretty tough sort of ask. You may have gotten back in this box here. You may have gotten into this one here. You may have gotten into this one here. All of those sort of. It's been it's not trading this market. It's not easy. It's not for the faint-hearted. I always say less is more. So smaller position sizes with very wide stops. We can push this up to here. We could push it up to here. Let me see now. Yeah, we could push it up further, but I think that's comfortable for the time being. Let's just get a grip on the actual structure here. So we've got wave 4 here. See, I may be able to look at this as wave 1 here, as 1 and 2 here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, 4th and 5th here. So that's possible. It's just that this was, I could get 5, I could get 3 out of that. I'll double check on that. Oh no, it makes a nice ABC. Yeah, right. No, I think I'm on the right track. Anyway, so we've got from wave 4 here at this stage. We'll go wave 1 and 2. So with wave 2, we're going to go up to wave 3, all the way up here from 2 to 3 to 4 to 5. So we can go above here. And I'm counting it so far. I can see this is from wave 2 to wave 3 here. We're looking for 5 waves in that light blue color there. So we've got 1 and 2 in here, and then I can count 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 and 2, and 1 and 2 here, and 3. Oh, I still need to wind that out a bit further, don't I? Let me just do that as best I can so that we could look at that as, okay, 1 and 2 there, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I could put that as wave 3 there, and 4 pulling back, and 5 up here, and then put that wave 3 there. So at the midpoint here, the 50, we're going to see a bit of a dance. We're going to get all our wave 4s coming across here by the looks of it. I don't know how far that's going to go up actually. Could be something like that. We're going to be entering group 2 here, so that's going to be, so between 200 and 300 we can look at the Fibonacci sequence as a price ratio, so 10, 20 and 30. I'll put the 30 in here because that could be a nice support for all of these wave 4s. So after 3 becomes 5, and after 5 we got 8. When we talk about 8, we talk about group 2, so we talk about 65 here, and then we talk about 72. And this market, normally when we get like 72, like that's just sort of normal, but when we get something like this where you got 272 or 772, for some strange reason it seems to have more of a hold on the market. So this will be a bit of a stopping place for this. So just now that you know that, then you can have patience when you get here. You don't have to sweat it out, you know, when you know your numbers a little bit. Now, woulda, coulda, shoulda. It would have been nice to look at this here as the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and done another long trade here. So if you've done that, congratulations. You could do the same here. But now you're getting into 3s and 4s and 5s here, right? It's what you see here is not what you get next, right? So just be a little bit careful about that situation. All the 4s should normally come back and equal with each other, but I always find that they go on a bit of an angle. So yeah, so this expect some swings at the 50, 5 being the second strongest number, and then in group 2 here, expect the market to sit in here for a while. But the if you've been long all the way down here, we can, I mean, normally I'd start scaling out at this point in this group 2 here, but I think we can pretty much get to the 300 without too much problem at this stage. So if you've got positions down here, I'd you know, because the aim was really to get to this number at the beginning of the trade, you know, and we're getting there. So that's nice. Alrighty, enough waffling on there. See, over to CBA here, we've been looking at this as a little wave 4. I haven't looked at the intraday, but we know that we're going higher here because we know that with the US banks as well. So if you've been looking at the US market, old Goldilocks here, so pushing up here in a wave 5, and all the other banks are in the same. So I know that our banks will be doing the same. But the thing, what I wanted to point out is that when we do get up here, we'll have a double top, and I know that double tops are never the end of the market, or as W.D. Gann would say, that double tops are never the end of the bull campaign. Yeah, so I'm thinking that, you know, we certainly can have some sort of correction here. There's no doubt about that. But I'm just saying that I think we're in a much bigger bull run than we actually think that we are, you know. I mean, you probably think that we are anyway, you know, with our sentiment changes with the winds of the interest rates and inflation and all those sort of things. I won't look at all the banks today. There's no need for that. They will be pushing up. Okay, so you can, short-term traders can go in that. When we're looking at the resources here, let me just have a look at, haven't seen everything today. I can see that crude's up. Where's our little iron ore here? Iron ore was down a bit yesterday, so maybe we're getting our wave 2 here. That's nice, that's good. Maybe we've got that top in, or is this just a wave 4? Could be just a wave 4. Anyway, I'll do some work on that shortly. But if it comes down any further, that would be fantastic. Then I'll know where we are. It's got to come down a fair way. But if I looked at that there, that would be 3, 4, 5. That would be the third wave. But that looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to there's 1 and 2. It could be 3, 4, 5 in finishing off. Okay, I'll have to just check on that, but I won't do it in your time. But you know that I'm looking for that top there. But I think that I think this can be just a wave 4 with another little move up here. That's what I'm seeing from the stocks anyway. So I mean, I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, but I think we've got one more push up here, which I'm looking forward to go into that box for BHP. And you know, all of this here is the same concept as this here, right? So that's what I'm thinking about Rio, FMG and BHP and anything else, not anything else you're looking at, but anything in that line, you know. So we want that top and turn here. That's what we're looking for. Then we can make some decisions to be longer term long or longer term short. It's simple as that. So this here can also push up and probably will. But look, it'd be great if it pushes down, because then I can just call that top in, you know. Either way, I want something, give me something, you know, kind of thing. So the same here as well. We may end up with a nice classic trading levels pattern here at the 20, which will be absolutely fantastic for FMG. because if this is going to be bullish, FMG will go from 20 to, well, it'll stop at 30, but it'll continue up further. I mean, this accumulation process across here, you know, it's got a lot of pent up stuff here. So this will be $40. So anyway, we'll get it. Don't worry, we'll get it. And hopefully it will come in line with everything with our when we start putting out trades on the new platform. So that's that, and over to the lithium stocks. Yeah, I'm kind of, I mean, I like this now. I mean, it's doing all, look, it could drop further. This is PLS here, sorry, lithium stocks we're looking at now. But what it has done now, it has given us a reasonable correction at this level here now, you know. See, these things here, when this particular pattern here, where it doesn't stop at the level, right, where it doesn't stop at the level, goes straight through, is normally, what I say is the distance it goes above is normally the distance that goes below here, but also a little bit wilder like that. But in it you know, this would be, there's three patterns on the long side. There's this one, which is the one that we're getting now, which is this one. Then sometimes you get this one here, right, where it doesn't come back below the level. That would be this one here, so you can just take the top because you got the top in there. And then the third one, which is less common, where it doesn't stop at the level here but comes back over here, so the overshoot pattern, which is this one here. So they're the only sort of three patterns that can really occur. Now, every individual stock is like every individual human being. We're all the same. We've got eyes and legs and arms and whatnot, but we're all uniquely different. And it's the same with markets as well. They've got their own finger DNA as such, so they can, you know, you got to kind of get a little bit philosophical about it. Sometimes they can just be, you know, really accurate with the patterns and you know, they're shining examples, but other times they're a little bit messy. But what we do have here now, and even though we've made mistakes, right, we all make mistakes, but now we can clearly see that we've got that top in play there. So that becomes that becomes our long trade. Now what the next step is to do is to see if this does drop further, to see if we can get in here. You know, we may end up with a situation where it pops up here, covers the gap and goes down here further, you know. And it's a bit like you know, N phase that we've been working through. This is if you're in the solar business, you know what N phase is. So with this here, you know, it came up here, and the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, never really took out the top here, and anyway, we come back to the 38.2% retracement level. Then we tracked it up as 5 waves. We thought that was good. And I think we even had some trades in here. We did, yeah. And then we waited for it to come back to the 61.8%. And some folks got in here, and then we got a small trade here, and then it's come back on the level here, and we've been building in here, and we're going to continue to build in through 10, 20 and 30 in here. And yeah, so we're getting in at the beginning of the trend. So this kind of that particular sort of move is really like this move here, building in over this leg here. So with this particular market, we'll pay close attention to what it does here. It may just go straight up, and if that's the case, then we have to get on the bus, you know. But and we may get a second high that we could go long on in here as well, just in case it does that kind of thing, you know. But we are getting that correction at this level, and that's important because you need that accumulation process to have the distribution process. So that's good. But anyway, enough waffling on that. Let's just look at let's get this charting program in. I'll try to get some of these stocks on the other one. This is CPU here, so this is quite a good little thing here. I forgot to mention it before, but basically 1 and 2 here, and it'll have going up. I wouldn't worry about the spike too much, but 1 and 2 in here and 3, so it'll sit at 28 for a while, so you could buy the pullback in this if you wanted to, but we'll end up seeing this do something like this here. and then we'll get another classic trading levels pattern here. But see how it's at this level here, the 25. It's taken a while to do it, but anyway, this is CPU. It's got further to go up, but that wasn't what I was looking at this point. We're going to go into stocks. Just want to have a look at this here. I haven't looked at this for a little while. This is in log scale, so I want to take that off log scale. A big difference. We're looking for this wave 4 here. Yeah, it's still probably I can see this is working in lots of 3. That's in 3 waves. This is in 3 waves. So we're looking for this wave 4. But once that's finished, then we'll see that push up higher here at that stage in that. But that's that. What we want to have a look at is gas is moving up nicely actually in this little thing here, so we'll check on that later when we do the other video. But we want to go to now we normally start on SQM, and that's okay. This is the Chilean thing, but as I mentioned yesterday, we want to kind of start focusing in on other markets, you know. I just want to check on these guys here. This one and this one, they'll be making runs now. Yeah, so anyway, those two there you can have a look at. But these NU pharmaceuticals, another one I was looking at. Anyway, here SYA is one. If it sits on 25, right, then we'll look at this one here. Then we'll be going long, because that's a medium level between 20 and 30 here. That will be the setup here. We've got a nice impulse wave here and everything else. We're waiting for this to finish, so that will be there. And so these are more iron ore stocks. Lithium stocks, sorry. This is wave 1 to the upside, so it's in a corrective mode, so I'll keep an eye on that. We looked at this one yesterday. LKE here, Lake Resources is another one, but I always thought Lake Resources was silver, so but that was going back quite a few years now. I don't particularly like this one. This has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and not. Anyway, we'll keep a bit of an eye on that, and I'll do some more research on those. So I really want to go into LAC was part of the US one, so I don't want to look at that. PPL here. It's got NASDAQ here, but I sort of thought that was on the other one. Yeah, anyway, it's gathering support here. As I mentioned, the move down here, see this move coming down here was on lower volume, and see we're getting increasing volume now, so that's that could play out quite nicely. I think I might get some of that myself. And ACDC here, I'm not that interested in this because it's got tech companies in it as well, but if you want tech companies and you know, battery tech companies and all of those things, that's fine, but we just kind of want to focus on the lithium itself. So we can see here that it came down hard, and then it came down less, and it's finding support here and lower volume. So if this pops itself back up on top of the 150 here, based on this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or we might end up with an ABC here. Actually, we might end up with something like this. So we'll just be a little bit careful about that. But anyway, a little bit more work to be done on that one. LTR here. Liontown, is it? Yeah. So I mean, I've always liked this one here, and really what it's trying to do is it's just trying to find support on top of this here. It may not be finished yet. There may be this and this to go, because you know, at the worst case, because we've got 5 waves here, and this box here is the 50-60% retracement level. So we, you know, it can be an A and a B and a C. It could also just go bolt straight off. Now the thing is, now we've got that high in here. If it does bolt off, then you need to have a position above that. And what we're trying to do is get the second high, and so on, and then, you know, try to get some down here, and you know, build in positions around it based on our confidence within the structure. PLS is, and we just looked at that there, so we're looking at an ABC. I'll have to take a closer look at this one to see exactly where we are, but yeah, I just want to have a little look at this on 15-minute chart or something, to have a look at, see if I can, just want to see how the see if we can read this. Yeah, it looks quite good actually. It looks, this looks like we could put that wave C here. It looks like 5 waves here. It looks like 5 waves up here with a corrective wave and here and here. So it looks like it wants to go up here. So this will give 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So that should give us, don't have to rush into this. We'll get wave 5 up here, and then we'll get some sort of ABC pattern here. Now the thing you got to be careful with here, and the reason I'm sort of doing this for, is because this could be an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here. Do you know what I mean? Because we've got 5 here, it means we get 5 over here, but that only leaves us 3 waves at that point. So the real trade here will be above here, or on the second high, on the second high here. I did technical drawing at school. You think I'd be better at this, but there we go. So yeah, so that would be the safe trade at that point, wouldn't it? Because if that B wave is breached, then we know that it's bullish at that point. But we don't know that, because at this moment it could just be an A, B, and C here, and we could end up coming down here further at that point. That type of thing. But it is, it is hugging this number, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? That's the thing of it. And we do have a nice A, an A, B, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not that crash hot. Probably have to count that a bit differently then. But still, we'll see. That's rather sharp for a C wave, so that's a little bit haunting. So we just need to be double sure here for that, So following that pattern there will be good. Okay, that's enough for those guys at the moment. And I'm going to move this over here. That's my sort of reference chart. And over to the gold market. Well, so we should see this push up now. If I can just bring up the US dollar that we've been talking about. So yeah, yesterday we're talking about this wave 3 here, an A, and then an ABC for the B wave, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here. So we either had that in as the top, or we could look at this little move here as wave 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, but it just patterned out that it was the top, and we're getting 5 waves down here now. So that we're going to get a kickback and then down. But the fact that this is coming down, we're seeing stocks move up strong now, and everything else. So we'll see Bitcoin rally, we'll see the indices rally, we'll see copper, gold, all those sorts of things start to move up. Now, this situation here, it took us about 4 days to do wave 1 there. It's actually more days than that, but there was a weekend in that, so about 4 days there. So we've got about 4 days here. Okay, till we get to this low here. When this low comes in here, then that's going to give us 5 waves down at that point. So that could actually be a low in place at that point. So we'll have to look at the bigger picture. There might be further more downside, but I just need to do a few things. But this month we've got 4 days of being long, basically, in the markets, 3 or 4 days, whatever it takes, But when that turns, when that low gets in here, then everything else changes. So we've got about 4 days. We're looking for the low here yesterday's. It looks like we've got a little impulse wave to the upside there. So folks can go long on that if you wanted to. See that little impulse wave there, but that's only gives us 5 waves, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it could be an A and a B and a C and fail from that point. So you'll have to put, when that gets breached here, then you can lift your stop from here, from the low to here at that point when that's breached. Okay, and that's your target, the 18 there, and use the levels over here too. So yeah, all the levels, the 1750s neck. Anyway, I'll leave you sort that out. And that means that Newcrest, we've been waiting here for patiently for ages. So we should see this start to make a bit of a move now and finish that off. And like I said, we could be bullish here at wave 1 or wave 4. Wave 4 would bring us down to here, or we get a classic trading levels pattern here, and then we can go long at that point. We can have that as a longer term long trade. Be the time to start buying a bit of bullion at that point, I'd imagine, or buying bullion here or buying bullion down here. Rightio, so that's that. And the Australian dollar. So we're looking at the same. This would be the same as the S&P, but it's sort of lagging a little bit. So the S&P here is wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 going up here, and This one here is the same as 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now that the US dollar is heading down, we'll see this move to the upside. That's a little bit late for that one. So this will be basically, that will be, there's little 5 waves in here. That's why that's there. But wave 1, 2, 3, nice strong move here, 4 here. So you're going to see wave 5 here, and then you're going to see a pullback in here. So that pullback will be a little ABC here, and then that will push up there. So we can remove this here, because that's no good to you, and we'll put that there. Or you can buy the pullback here further. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here somewhere, and then when it pulls back, so look for the 50-60% when it pulls back, you know, and use the levels as well. Find the closest largest number and start working with different degrees of structure. Alrighty, that's it. Thanks for tuning in, and just remember that the US have got a holiday, not tonight but the next day. Okay, cheers.